ओम अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वरूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सैकन्दगुणात्मकं तं सजीवं साधवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णं चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां ललिता श्रीविशाखवतं च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पासदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपेकांत राधा कांत नमस्ते ताप्त कंचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वंचा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु वैवच पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसति गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Just to start from here, Meghna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There are those who can simply think of God as being great, but do not know how great He is. When they think of greatness, they think of very big, very high mountains, the sky, and the other planets. Therefore, the Lord has been described in terms of such material manifestation, so that while thinking of these different manifestations, no one one can think of God. That is also Krishna consciousness. If one thinks the mountains is the bone of Krishna, or if one thinks of the vast Pacific Ocean as Krishna's navel, one is in Krishna consciousness. Similarly, one may think of the trees and plants as the hairs on Krishna's body. One may think of Brahmaloka as the top of Krishna's skull, and one may think of the Patalaloka planetary system as the soles of Krishna's feet. Thus, one may think of Krishna as greater than the greatest. Mahoto Mahiyan. Hare Krishna.
Similarly, one may think of Krishna as smaller than the smallest. That is also a kind of greatness. Krishna can manufacture this gigantic cosmic manifestation, and he can also manufacture a small insect. In a book, one may sometimes find a small running in a period. This is Krishna's craftsmanship. Anor Anyan Mahat Mayam Katha Upanishad 1.2.20. He can create something greater than the greatest and the smaller than the smallest. Now human beings have manufactured the 747 airplane, which according to their conception is very big. But can they produce an airplane as small as flying insect? That is not possible. Actual greatness, however, is not one-sided. One who is actually great can become greater than the greatest and smaller than the smallest.
Swati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. But even the great things man can manufacture in the modern age are still not the greatest things man has created. We have information from the Srimad Bhagavatam that Kardam Muni, the father of the great sage Kapil Dev, manufactured a huge plane that resembles a great city. It included lakes, gardens, streets, and houses, and the whole city was able to fly all over the universe. In that plane, Kardam Muni traveled with his wife and showed her all the planets. He was a great yogi, and his wife Devahuti was the daughter of Swambhava Manu, a great king. Kardam Muni had desired to marry, and Devahuti told her father, "My dear father, I want to marry that sage." Thus, Manu brought his daughter to Kardam Muni and said, "Sir, here is my daughter. Please accept her as your wife." She was a king's daughter and was very opulent, but when she joined her austere husband, she had to serve so much that she became lean and thin. In fact, even with insufficient food, she was working day and night. Thus, Kardam Muni became compassionate. This woman who has come to me is a king's daughter, he thought, but under my protection she is not receiving any comfort. So I shall give her some comfort. Thus he asked his wife, "What will make you comfortable?" A woman's nature, of course, is that she wants a good house, good food, fine garments, good children, and a good husband. These are a woman's ambitions. Thus Kardam Muni proved to her that she had received the best husband. By yogic powers, he created for her this great airplane and gave her a big house with maid servants and all opulences. Kardam Muni was merely a human being, but he could perform such wonderful things by yogic powers.
Yes, Dhananjay Puji.
Krishna, however, is Yogeshwara, the master of all yogic powers. If we get a little mystic power, we become important. But Krishna is the master of all mystic powers. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that wherever there is Yogeshwar Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all mystic powers, wherever there is Arjuna, who is also known as Partha or Dhanurdhar, everything is present.
Yes, Ishu Prabhu.
We should always remember that if one can keep ourselves always in company with Krishna, we shall attain all perfection. And especially in this age, Krishna has incarnated as holy name, Kali Kale Naam Rupe Krishna Avatare. Chaitanya Chaitamrit Adi Leela 17.22. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Naam Naam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tat Tatre Pita Nyamitah Samarne Nakala. My dear Lord, you are so kind that you have given me your association in the form of your holy name. And this holy name can be chanted in any situation. There are no hard and fast rules for chanting Hare Krishna. One can chant Hare Krishna anywhere. Children, for example, also chant and dance. It is not all at all difficult. While walking, a student can take their beads with them and chant. Where is the loss? But the gain is very great. By chanting, suppose we were to associate personally with the president, how proud we would feel. Oh, I am with the president. So should we not feel very much proud if we were to associate with the supreme president, who is able to create many millions of presidents like those of this world? This chanting is our opportunity to do so. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ita Darsi Tava Kripa Bhagwane Mamapi. My dear Lord, you are so kind to me that you are always prepared to give me your association. Dura Devam Idarsham Eha Jani Nagra. But I'm so unfortunate that I do not take advantage of this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Yes, please with the Sapta too.
Yes, Prabhuji. Our Krishna consciousness movement is simply requesting people chant Hare Krishna. There was a cartoon in some newspaper that depicted an old lady and her husband sitting face to face. The lady is questioning her husband, chant, 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 and the husband is answering, can't, can't, can't. So in the same way, we are requesting everyone, please chant, chant, chant. But they are replying, can't, can't, can't. This is their misfortune.
Still, it is our duty to make all such unfortunate creatures fortunate. That is our mission. Therefore, we go into the street and chant. Although they say can't, we go on chanting. That is our duty. And if someone, if somehow or other we place some literature in someone's hand, he become fortunate. He would have squandered his hard-earned money in so many nasty, sinful ways. But if he purchases even one book, regardless of the price, his money is properly utilized. This is the beginning of his Krishna consciousness. Because he gives some of his hard-earned money for the Krishna consciousness movement, he gets some spiritual profit. He is not losing, rather he is gaining some spiritual profit. Therefore, our business is somehow or other to bring everyone to this Krishna consciousness movement so that everyone may spiritually profit.
When Krishna appeared on earth, not everyone knew that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although when there was need, he proved himself the Supreme Godhead. He generally appeared to be just like an ordinary human being. Therefore, Sukadeva Goswami, when describing how Krishna played as one of the cowherd boys, points out personalities Krishna's identity. Who is this cowherd boy? Sukadeva Goswami say, it iti itam satam brahma sakuno bhutya. The impersonalist immediate imitate nay, meditate upon the impersonal Brahman and thus feel some transactional bliss. But Sukadeva Goswami points out that the source of the transactional bliss is here, Krishna.
Krishna is the source of everything, M. Sarvasya Prabhava, and therefore the transcendental bliss that the impersonalists try to experience by meditating on the impersonal Brahman, in fact, comes from Krishna. Shukadev Goswami says, here is the person who is the source of Brahm Sukh, the transcendental bliss that comes from realization of Brahman. Hare Krishna.
A devotee is always prepared to render service to the Lord. Dasyam gatanam para devatena. But for those who are under the spell of illusory energy, he is an ordinary boy. Mayasritanam naradarkena. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tamas tattvev bhajami aham. Krishna deals with different living entities according to their conceptions. For those who regard Krishna as an ordinary human being, Krishna will deal like an ordinary human being. Whereas devotees who accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead will enjoy the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, the object of the impersonalist is the Brahmjyoti, the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme. But Krishna is the source of that effulgence. Therefore, Krishna is everything. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti sabdyate.
Yet cowherd boys are able to play with that same Krishna, the exalted personality of Godhead. How have they become so fortunate that they are able to play with him? Itham satam brahma sukhanu bhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivetena maya shritanam naradarakena sardham vijahru kritta punya puja. Bhagavatam 10th canto 12th chapter 11th verse. The cowherd boys playing with Krishna are also not ordinary, for they have attained the highest perfection of being able to play with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How did they achieve this position? Kritva Punya Punja, by many lives of pious activities. For many lives, these boys underwent austerities and penances to achieve the highest perfection of life. And now they have the opportunity to play with the Krishna personally on equal level. They do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for that is the nature of Vrindavan Leela, Krishna's pastime in the village of Vrindavan.
Not knowing Krishna's identity, the cowherd boys simply love Krishna, and their love is unending. This is true of everyone in Vrindavan. For example, Yashoda Mata and Nand Maharaj, Krishna's mother and father, love Krishna with parental affection. Similarly, Krishna's friend love Krishna, Krishna's girlfriends love Krishna, the tree loves Krishna, the water loves Krishna, the flower, the cows, the calves, everyone loves Krishna. That is the nature of Vrindavan. So if we simply learn how to love Krishna, we can immediately transfer this world into Vrindavan. Transform this world into Vrindavan. Hare Krishna.
This is the only central point, how to love Krishna. Prema pum artho, prema pum artho mahan. People are generally pursuing dharma, artha, kam, moksha, religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disregarded these four things. These are not what is to be achieved in life. He said the real goal of life is to love Krishna. Love Krishna.
Of course, human life does not actually begin until there is some conception of religion, dharma. But in the present age, Kali Yuga, dharma is practically nil. There is no religion or morality, and there are no pious activities, and therefore, according to Vedic calculation, the present human civilization does not even consist of human beings. Formerly, people would care about mortality and immortality, religion and irreligion, but with the progress of Kali Yuga, this is all being vanquished, and people can do anything without caring what it is. Srimad Bhagavatam says, and we can actually see that in the Kali Yuga, about 80% of the people are sinful. Illicit sex life, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling are the four pillars of sinful life. And therefore, we request that one first break these four pillars so that the roof of sinful life will collapse. Then, by chanting Hare Krishna, one can remain established in transcendental position. It is very simple method.
One cannot realize God if one's life is sinful. Therefore, Krishna says, Yesam tiv anata gatam papam jananam punya karmanam te davan davantva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dradra vratam. Person, persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, those sinful actions are completely eradicated, and those are freed from the from duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Bhagavad 7.28. Bhagavad Gita 7.28.
The word Antgatam means finished. One can engage in the devotional service if one has finished with this sinful life. Who can finish with sinful life? Those who engage in pious activities. One must have activities, and if one engages in pious activities, one's sinful activities will naturally vanish. On one side, one should voluntarily try to break the pillars of sinful life, and on another side, one must engage himself in pious life.
If one has no pious engagement, it is not that one can become free from sinful activities simply by theoretical understanding. For example, the American government is spending millions of dollars to stop the use of LSD and other such intoxicants, but the government has failed. How? How is it that simply by passing laws and giving lectures one can make people give up these things? It is not possible. One must give people good engagements and then they will automatically give up the bad ones. For example, we instruct our students no intoxication and they immediately give it up, even though the government has failed to stop them. This is practical.
Param Drishta Nivartate. If someone isn't given good engagement, his bad engagements cannot be stopped. That is not possible. Therefore, we have two sides: prohibition of sinful activities and engagement in good activities. We don't simply say no illicit sex, no intoxication, and so on. Mere negativity has no meaning. There must be something positive because everyone wants engagement. That is because we are living entities, not dead stones. By meditation, the impersonalist philosophers try to become dead stones. Let me think of something void or impersonal. But how can one artificially make oneself void? The heart and mind are full of activities, so these artificial methods will not help human society.
Yeah, Ishu Prabhu.
Methods of so-called yoga and meditation are all rascaldom because they provide one no engagement. But in Krishna consciousness, there is educate engagement for everyone. Everyone rises early in the morning to offer worship to the deities. The devotee prepare a nice food, Krishna. They decorate the temple, make garlands, go out chanting, and sell books. They are fully engaged 24 hours a day, and therefore they are able to give up sinful life. If a children has in his hand something that he is eating, but we give up something better, he will throw away the inferior thing and take away the better thing. So in Krishna consciousness, we offer better engagement, better life, better philosophy, and better consciousness. Everything better. Therefore, those who engage in the devotional service can give up sinful and activities and promote themselves to Krishna consciousness.
Activities indeed to promote all living entities with Krishna consciousness are going on not only in human society but even in animal society also. Because all living entities that are part and parcel of Krishna but are floating in this material world. Krishna has a plan, a big plan to deliver them. Sometimes he comes to this world personally, and sometimes he sends his very confidential devotees. Sometimes he leaves instructions like those of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's incarnation appears everywhere, and he appears among animals, man, sages, and even exotics. Syrian Nirsisu, Yalhisu. For example, Krishna even appeared as a fish incarnate.
Thus, Krishna's birth, appearance, and disappearance are all bewildering. Tad atyanta vidambanam. We conditioned living entities transmigrate from one body to another because we are forced to do so by the laws of nature. But Krishna does not appear because he is forced. That is the difference. Those who are foolish, rascal, think, I have taken my birth in this world and Krishna has taken birth here also. Therefore, I am also God. They do not know that they will have to take birth again by the force of the laws of nature.
One may have been given chance to have a very beautiful body in the country where one can live in opulence and receive a good education. But if one misuses all this, one will get another body according to one man's mentality. For example, at the present moment, despite of so many arrangements by the government for good schools and university, the civilized countries of the countries of the world are producing hippies, young people who are so frustrated that they even worship hogs. But if one associated with the qualities of the hog, one will actually become a hog in one next birth. प्र- प्रकृतेः क्रिया मनानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वेषां. Nature will give one a full opportunity. All right, sir, become a hog. Such a nature's arrangement. Prakriti nature has three modes, and if one associated with one type of mode, one will receive the next body accordingly.
Krishna's appearance and disappearance are meant to put an end to the living entity's transmigration from one body to another. And therefore, one should understand the greatness of the plan behind Krishna's appearance and disappearance. It is not that Krishna comes whimsically. He has a great plan. Otherwise, why should he come here? He is very much eager to take us home back to Godhead. That is Krishna's business. Therefore, he says, Sarv dharma parityaja mamekam sarvam vraja aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshyami ma sucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. All of us are children of Krishna, God, and since we are unhappy because of taking material bodies for repeated birth, death, old age, and disease, He is more unhappy than we are. Our situation in the material body is not at all comfortable, but we are such foolish rascals that we do not care to do anything about this. We are busy trying to arrange for temporary comforts in this life, but we are neglecting the real discomforts of birth, death, old age, and disease. This is our ignorance and our foolishness, and therefore Krishna comes to wake us up from this ignorance and take us back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so it's 7:26, so we can stop and start with the learning and realization. Anyone want to share anything?
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Prabhuji, we know that the Krishna's associate like Subala and Sridhama, they are eternal associate, but here Prabhupada is telling that they attain this position by performing severe austerities of like in many births they have performed some austerities. So how we can understand this?
So they don't have any idea exactly. I think मैं आपको क्वेश्चन लिख लेता हूँ और we can discuss it later on. We have also few
Okay.
questions left in our list. So whenever Naveen Prabhuji or Shani Prabhuji will be there, then we can discuss it.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to throw some light on this question, then please, you may. Anyone? Okay, Prabhuji. एक बार आप क्वेश्चन रिपीट कर देंगे अपना?
Prabhuji, as we know that the Krishna's associate like we Sridhama, Subala, all these coward boys, these are eternal associates from Goloka. But here Prabhupada is telling that they have achieved this position by performing austerities,
Yes.
severe austerities. So how we can understand like both things, like they are eternal associate also, and here Prabhupada is saying that they achieve this position by performing austerities.
Okay, मतलब वो पोजीशन कैसे हम अटेन कर सकते हैं, ये क्वेश्चन है आपका?
नहीं कि मतलब स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में तो इटरनली है ना वो तो हाँ, तो यहाँ पे मतलब कैसे हो सकता है कि वो ऑस्टेरिटीज करके गए?
ओके समझ गया। ओके
हाँ
ठीक है
ओके
थैंक यू anyone wants to add something or some points, some comments?
मुझे वो पॉइंट अच्छा लगा प्रभु जी जिसमें प्रभुपाद जी बता रहे हैं कि मतलब किसी की जैसे हिपीज का एग्जांपल देके बताया उन्होंने, किसी की कोई बैड हैबिट या ऐसा कुछ है तो उसे कहीं न किसी हायर टेस्ट में इन्वॉल्व करना पड़ेगा। कोई ये लॉज बना देने से मतलब रिलीफ नहीं मिलेगा उतना, जैसा हिपीज के केस में हमने देखा। तो प्रभुपाद जी वही बता रहे थे कि उनको हायर टेस्ट दिया गया, या कोई मदर है उसे अपने बच्चे को किसी बैड थिंग से बचाना है तो उसे कुछ ना कुछ और उसे इन्वॉल्वमेंट देना पड़ेगा, कुछ गुड इन्वॉल्वमेंट, जिससे कि वो उन चीजों से बच सके। तो वो पॉइंट मुझे अच्छा लगा कि कहीं से किसी को कुछ मतलब निकालना है या हटानी है उसकी कोई बैड हैबिट या कोई ऐसी एक्टिविटी, सो वी शुड गिव दैट पर्सन सम हायर टेस्ट। सो आई लाइक दैट पॉइंट।
थैंक यू। मेरे को एक पॉइंट वो अच्छा लगा जब आजकल जैसे मतलब मोस्टली साइंटिस्ट जो हैं या फिर मेटलिस्टिक लोग जो हैं वो साइंटिफिक एडवांसमेंट के ऊपर बहुत मतलब प्राउड फील करते हैं और उसे प्रायोरिटाइज करते हैं हर चीज़ से ऊपर कि व्हाट दे हैव डन, दे हैव अचीव्ड अ लॉट। तो उसमें प्रभुपाद ने करदम मुनि का एग्जांपल दिया कि उन्होंने एक ऐसा प्लेन बनाया था which was like a complete which is like a complete city जिसके अंदर लैंड था, एयर, वाटर, रिवर्स, देयर वर ट्रीज एंड एवरीथिंग। और वो जो प्लेन था वो इतना एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी था कि वो प्लैनेट्स, वी कैन ट्रेवल थ्रू प्लैनेट्स थ्रू दैट प्लेन। तो वो मेरे को मतलब दैट इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कि मतलब इतना एडवांसमेंट था एंड दैट इज पॉसिबल कि, और आज के कंपेयर करें कि आज के एडवांसमेंट के कंपैरिजन में तो कुछ भी नहीं है। तो यस, देयर इज लॉट टू अचीव इन साइंटिफिकली आल्सो, बट हाँ, अगर हम सिर्फ साइंटिफिकली सोचते हैं या फिर मेटल एडवांसमेंट के सोचते हैं, दैट इज कंप्लीटली वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम। या दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड।
Prabhuji, they choose to live simply. Question comes here. They do not. They still live in heart, and they still all the penances. They take
Yes.
all the austerities, but
Yes.
they are not living in luxury. That is the question. That is the actual question one should ask. Why? कि जब इतनी सारी एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी थी, ऐसे वेद व्यास का एग्जांपल आता है ना कि he wrote all the things and still he choose to live in cave. Why? That question, मतलब सबको स्ट्राइक होना चाहिए कि ऐसा ही क्यों था। और एक और था इसमें, एक और पॉइंट प्रभु कि वो जो चैंटिंग हम भूल जाते हैं बार बार चैंट में, मतलब सबका नहीं पता, मेरा तो पता है, मैं भूल जाता हूँ चैंटिंग करते समय कि हम एक्चुअली एसोसिएट कर रहे हैं भगवान के साथ। तो प्रभुपाद प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स दे रहे थे उसमें बताने के लिए कि हाउ टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट व्हाइल चैंटिंग, एक्चुअली एसोसिएटिंग विद लॉर्ड व्हाइल यू आर टेकिंग द नेम। तो वो अच्छा रिमाइंडर था प्रभुपाद का कि how you feel that if you're associating with the president of the country, this is same, chanting is same like associating with the supreme president of the universe. तो हम बहुत लाइटली ले लेते हैं कभी कभी। मैं तो 16 माला हो गई है तो, बट जो प्रभुपाद बता रहे हैं
मोस्टली लेते हैं लाइटली, हम लोग समझते ही नहीं।
ये कि वो अच्छा रिमाइंडर है प्रभुपाद का कि चीज ऐसा नहीं तो ऐसे समझ में आ जाए तो मैं लोगों को।
वो पॉइंट बहुत अच्छा था। समाओ मैं भी जब पढ़ रहे थे तब अच्छा लगा, फिर मैं भूल गई वो पॉइंट ना, बट या इट वाज वेरी नाइस पॉइंट।
मैं कल ऐसे ही मुझे ऐसा कल पढ़ते पढ़ते रियलाइजेशन हुआ कि इतना सारा पढ़ लेते हैं ना, हम पीछे का सब कुछ भूल जाते हैं। मतलब हम कितने ज्यादा पतित हैं। मतलब इतनी इतनी अच्छी बातें पढ़ते हैं। कल श्रीमद् भागवतम में ऐसे ही पढ़ रहा था तो कुछ पहले कुछ 5-6 श्लोक में कुछ बहुत ही अच्छा पढ़ा था मैं, और जब मैं रख रहा था तो आई वाज राइटिंग डाउन की व्हाट आई हैव रेड टुडे, तो मुझे पॉइंट ही याद नहीं आ रहे थे। मतलब मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैंने कुछ अच्छा पढ़ा, लेकिन मुझे स्टिल याद नहीं आ रहा था कि मैंने क्या पढ़ा क्या नहीं। मतलब लॉस ऑफ मेमोरी इतनी जल्दी है ना, 5-5 मिनट की बात हम भूल जाते हैं टॉकिंग अबाउट द इयर्स, कि पता नहीं क्या ही होगा हमारा। स्टिल दैट्स इट।
मुझे भी प्रभु जी ये डाउट पहले बहुत रहता था, कि अभी भी रहता है इनफैक्ट समटाइम्स, कि हम इतनी रीडिंग करते हैं, मतलब इतनी क्या, मतलब डेली तो एटलीस्ट कर ही रहे हैं वो हाफ एन आवर जो हम कनेक्ट करते हैं, बट स्टिल उसके बाद भी ना, मतलब पढ़ने के बाद ही कुछ याद नहीं रहता कि हमने एग्जैक्टली पढ़ा क्या था। तो फिर पढ़ने का फायदा क्या है? तो आई वॉज हैविंग दैट डाउट। तो फिर मैंने ये पूछा, तो फिर मतलब विच आई गॉट टू नो कि ठीक है, फिर भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं, दैट इज ऑल्सो गुड, कि कुछ चीजें तो याद रहेंगी और नहीं भी रहेंगी तो कोई बात नहीं, दैट इज ऑल्सो फाइन। तो बट समटाइम्स पहले एक्चुअली ज्यादा वो डीमोटिवेटिंग सा हो जाता था कि पढ़ रहे हैं फिर भी कुछ याद नहीं है, तो क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं फिर। बट फिर डिस्कस करके फिर लगा कि नहीं ठीक है, जितना याद है ठीक है, कुछ चीजें तो रहेंगी ना एटलीस्ट याद, कुछ पॉइंट तो।
यस, इनफैक्ट वो सबकॉन्शियसली हिट करता है। मुझे भी ऐसा रियलाइज हुआ कि यू फील गुड व्हाट यू आर रीडिंग, कि ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बस पढ़ते चले जा रहे हो, कहीं ना कहीं वो डीपली इफेक्ट करता है कॉन्शियसनेस को, कि मतलब वो ऑन द मोमेंट्स मतलब स्ट्राइक होता है। और ऐसा नहीं है कि हम वो चीजें भूल जाते हैं, वो ओकेजनली याद आ जाती है हमें कि, तो वो भी पढ़ना, अगर हम पढ़ेंगे नहीं तो वो रिफ्लेक्ट भी नहीं होगा ना इंटेलिजेंस पे। तो या दैट इज गुड पॉइंट कि एटलीस्ट हम पढ़ तो रहे हैं कि वो कभी ना कभी तो रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे इंटेलिजेंस पे। या एग्री ऑन इट।
Yes, his guest, the Prabhu, you want to add something?
प्रभु जी ऐसे तो मतलब सारे पॉइंट्स कवर ही हो गए हैं। इस लास्ट पॉइंट पे से प्रभुपाद जी नाम भगवान के नाम की महिमा बता रहे थे कि कृष्णा comes in this material world in the form of holy name in Kali Yuga especially, so that point I like। और पूरा उसमें श्लोका भी बताया था कि भगवान होली नेम के रूप में आए भी हैं, बट मैं इतना पतित हूँ कि मैं होली नेम, मेरा इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है उसमें। ऐसे चैतन्य महाप्रभु वो जो श्लोक शिक्षाष्टकम के एक श्लोकाश में बताया है, नाम नाम होता वाला। तो यस दैट इज अवर पोजीशन, हमारा भगवान नाम के रूप में है एंड हमारा नाम में कोई इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं आ रहा है। दैट पॉइंट आई लाइक।
यस जी, एग्जैक्टली यही पोजीशन है। सब कुछ सामने होते हुए भी हम नहीं समझ पा रहे, और हर रोज सफर कर रहे हैं वो चीज ना, जब से स्पेशली जब से स्पॉन में आए हैं, तो वी कैन फील द डिफरेंस कि व्हाट इज राइट एंड रॉन्ग, है ना, कि लोग क्या कर रहे हैं वो और हम क्या कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें डिफरेंस क्रिएट हो रहा है। लेकिन स्टिल हम वी आर नॉट एबल टू चैंट रेगुलरली एंड प्रॉपर्ली, जैसे अभी डिस्कस भी कर रहे थे माता जी, स्वाति माता जी एंड प्रभु। एक बार गौरांग प्रभु का एक लेक्चर था, उसमें गौरांग प्रभु बता रहे थे कि जब हम चैंटिंग करते हैं तो उसमें बता रहे थे कि अब मान के चलो कि लेट सपोज कि मैं किसी को बुला रहा हूँ, है ना, मैं आपको बुला रहा हूँ, लेकिन मैं देख किसी और कर, मैं देख रहा हूँ ईशु प्रभु को और बुला आपको रहा हूँ, तो आप मेरी साइड एक बार देखोगे, दो बार देखोगे, लेकिन उसके बाद कहोगे यार कर क्या रहा है ये, देख कहीं रहा है, बुला किसी को रहा है। तो वो चैंटिंग भी वही होता है, हम कभी कभी मतलब मैं चैंट करता हूँ, कभी फोन देख रहा हूँ, कभी किसी से बात कर रहा हूँ, तो मतलब मैं भगवान, जब हम चैंट करते हैं तो लिटरली भगवान भगवान हमारी तरफ देखते हैं, वो हमें वो सुनना चाहते हैं, वो रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन हम कहीं और ही देख रहे होते हैं। तो डेट इज ऑल्सो डिसरिस्पेक्टफुल टू द सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉडहेड। तो इसलिए मतलब वो मेरे को पॉइंट भी बहुत अच्छा लगा, इसलिए मतलब तब से थोड़ा इम्प्रूव हुआ कि मैं किसी से ना बात करूं ज़्यादा चैंट करते टाइम। तो अगर हम मतलब वो चीज़ें जो हैं, अगर हम अपने ऊपर अप्लाई करके देखेंगे ना, जो भी हम भगवान के साथ कर रहे हैं, चाहे हम डीटी वर्शिप कर रहे हैं, चाहे हम ऑल्टर सेवा कर रहे हैं, जैसे भगवान को ऑफर कर रहे हैं, तो अगर हम ये देखेंगे ना कि हम अपना को कैसे ट्रीट करेंगे, तो उसमें भी काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट आएगी भगवान की सर्विस करने में। कि हमें अगर क्या अच्छा लग रहा है, तो फिर भगवान को क्या करना चाहिए जो भगवान को अच्छा लगे। Yes.
Definitely, Prabhuji, it's one of the Nama Prad, like to be inattentive while chanting।
Yes,
और Prabhuji तो एक्चुअली हम नाम अपराध पढ़ तो लेते हैं डेली सुबह सुबह, बट उसको रियलाइज नहीं करते, तो इस वजह से कई सारे अपराध होते हैं जब चैंट करते हैं। तो यस में थोड़ा ध्यान पूर्वक करना चाहिए।
वही भूलने वाली आदत जो डिस्कशन चल रहा था, लेकिन हाँ बार बार पढ़ने से एटलीस्ट वो कहीं ना कहीं तो हिट करेगा।
राइट, वो ऐसे है ना कि वो हमारी कॉन्शियस मतलब प्योरीफाई करते हैं धीरे धीरे, और एकदम से तो हमें सारी चीजें याद होनी चाहिए, तो वो धीरे धीरे आता है।
एग्जैक्टली, यस। एनीवन वांट्स टू ऐड समथिंग?
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा। हाँ जी मैम।
आज एक वो वाला पॉइंट भी था कि हम आजकल हॉग्स को भी वर्शिप करने के लिए रेडी रहते हैं। जैसे कि हम लोग देखते हैं कि बहुत सारे इन्होंने गॉड्स बना दिए, जैसे गुरु जी बना दिए और सदगुरु जी बना दिए, पता नहीं कौन से ब्रह्म कुमारी, मतलब ऑल दीज थिंग्स वो रियलाइज ही नहीं कर रहे कि ये सब है ही नहीं, मतलब वो सिर्फ एक मटेरियल वर्ल्ड है। और एक वो वाला पॉइंट भी था, तो मेरे को काफी अच्छा लगा कि हाँ ये सब आज भी है। वही प्रभुपाद जी ने आज नहीं लिखी है बुक, बहुत पहले लिख दी थी, और उन्होंने पहले से फोकस करते थे कि हम लोग ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं, और इंडिया ह्यूमंस ने करके दिखाया कि हम ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं। तो हम लोग को वो चीज रियलाइज करनी चाहिए।
That's why Prabhupada called them rascals।
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think less than 1 minute is left, so we can stop now. Thank you. वंशकल पतुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining everyone.
Thank you, bro।
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.